The gaming minister clarifying concerns on government's proposed gaming taxes. Good Friday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for joining us. The minister responsible for gaming clarifying the government's intention to tax the domestic gaming industry. The Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar feels that since being regularized, the gaming industry has made millions. He indicated that profits will initially go down, but as the gaming house operators adjust their business model to accommodate the new tax, they will quickly bounce back.
Mr. Speaker, the Bahamas has been good to the domestic gaming house operators, and legalization has been good to them as well. And this government feels that now is the time to reassess, after all this incredible growth, whether the government is making its fair share from this industry.
When the gaming industry was regularized several years ago, Minister Dionisio de Aguilar said in his budget contribution Thursday that their tax was increased from 1% of adjusted gross revenues to 11% of net gaming revenue. He said then there was widespread consolidation of the market, where the number of gaming houses decreased from 12 to 7, and the number of locations fell from 635 to 363.
In 2015, their first year of legal operation, the sales of these 7 gaming houses grew a whopping $42 million in 1 year, from $112 million in 2014 to $154 million in 2015. In 2016, their sales grew another $21 million to $175 million. In 2017, their sales grew another $20 million to $195 million. And in 2018, their sales are projected to grow another $20 million to $215 million. The sales of the domestic gaming business, after they paid out all the winnings they have for the people, have grown from $112 million in 2014 to $215 million projected for this year, almost double.
The gaming minister then revealed that since regularization, the domestic gaming industry has generated millions.
Bahamians took over $500 million of hard cold cash down to the number handlers and gambled that money. And they say we can't afford a 4.5% increase in VAT. It's all about choices, Mr. Speaker, choices. Mr. Speaker, $500 million is a huge amount of money. Of that $500+ million the Bahamians spent on gaming, the 7 gaming houses ended up keeping $200 million of that. And this $200 million represents an enormous growth in sales since the gaming industry was legalized.
Minister de Aguilar believes that only gaming house operators themselves and those that support them would see anything wrong with government deciding to now reassess what the government earns off this business and what the operators keep. He confirmed that the government earns 11% of all gaming revenues and that gaming house operators get to keep the remaining 89%.
Is it fair that on the $215 million that the domestic gaming business is projected to earn in 2018, the government gets $24 million and the domestic gaming operators get to keep $191 million? When a deep dive is done into the projected sales of the gaming houses, just over half of their sales will fall into Tier 1 and will be taxed at 20%. And what is most revealing, Mr. Speaker, 6 of the 7 gaming houses would fall into that category. 10% of the sales would fall into Tier 2, another 10 in Tier 3, 10 in Tier 4, 10 in Tier 5, and only 5% of the total sales of the gaming industry will fall into Tier 6 and be taxed at 50%.